The Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange. Hey guys, it's Parker here with an episode. I think this is part 5 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles 2 Resolve. I seem to get chills down my spine and break out a nervous sweat all at the same time. Well, I didn't think I'd be back here so soon. That's my line! Good morning! Good morning, Mr. Natsume. It was only 2 days ago that declared not guilty here. Yes, we saw a match to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back. But now this! Another morning, another murder, and now here I am again in this hellhole. Can't keep coming to court. I begin to think he's right. It really does seem as though he's cursed. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid I have bad news. Oh. Mr. Natsume, good morning. Yes, morning. So here we are again. Yes, again. Judicial Assistant Miss Mikotoba Squares! What's the bad news? Oh dear, you heard, did you? If you come and shouting at the top of your voice, people can't help hearing what you say! Oh, I'm sorry. You done nothing wrong, Mrs. Sato. Now, what is it? Well, it seems that the prosecution today's trial will be led by Lord Barg Van Siegs. Van Siegs? Garg! Oh no, no. Here we meet him again. The Soul Car Reaper at the Bailey, the most legendary prosecutor in the land. In the trial 2 days ago, he pursues Soseki-san and I relentlessly. Of course, by the skin of our teeth. We managed to pull through, but still. Perhaps Mr. Natsume's acquittal last trial wasn't the end of the matter, after all. Okay, I was just moving the screen a bit. Yes, I know what you're thinking. The legend of the Reaper that says, nothing can save a person in the dog when Lord Van Siegs is prosecutor. Oh no! That even if that person is found not guilty, the accused will meet a mysterious end one way or another. And we're experienced it firsthand. A man we successfully defended met the most terrifying end after his acquittal right here in the Old Bailey. Do I have to put up with those ice cold eyes boring to my soul again? Cursed by evil spirits, no but a Reaper! Pair of petrifying petrels, potentially! Well, if it's potentially, at least you appear to have hope, Mr. Natsume. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Yes. I'm innocent! You have to believe me! You more than anyone now. Don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way in this battle. I promise. And this promises to be a hard battle, I fear. Well, the trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move to the courtroom. Let's go. Oh yes, I forgot to say. I'm afraid you won't be able to make it, Mr. Jones, I mean. That's probably the best. Oh, if you're here, I might be tempted to rely on his help. And that could be seen as a weakness. If Lord Van Siegs were to notice, he'd prey on it mercilessly. At least, that's my gut feeling. Mr. Naruhodo. You're right. Yes, you're so right. Oh, well said, local citizen Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Well said. I started a sword at my side, and the spirit Kazuma that harbors. I'll show him what a Japanese lawyer can do. I'll set you free, with honor. Oh yes. Here we go. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. Readiness for the trial, my learned police friend, is not what the defense needs. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat. It's not just in my imagination, it's really there. Lord Van Siegs has such animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. It was some time ago that he first became known as the Reaper de Bailey, I believe. These past few years, he hasn't appeared in court at all. Yet now, oops, I just switched to Zeke's voice, oops. Yeah, now he's back in the courtroom, though for some reason. Only one I'm defending. This Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, is prosecuted shrouded in mystery. Still, this isn't the time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Soseki-san's trial. Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You have been chosen around to represent the will of the people in this trial and ready to fulfill your duty. Absolutely, I had a feeling this Larkin was innocent before. I must say that I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat refuses to sit right. Oh, well, rather like how you're wearing a hat. I think the ruthless look is very fetching, actually. I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick. Wow, her clothes though. I can't agree more. I need to take home 5 bottles or the missus will go to the roof. Oh, my lord, show all the light here. Lead us flock to a righteous verdict. The British jury system is so very different to our own, isn't it? It's quite extraordinary to think that the power of the judgment is in the hands of 6 members of the public. And that the judge can only pass sentence when all jurors are in agreement about the defendant's guilt. 6 citizens of London chosen at random, or at least that's the idea. The prosecution would draw attention to the fact that the accused was on trial here but 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today. But one juror was different from everyone else. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt over your past decision. However, the innocent verdict afforded to this eccentric Nipponese before has had dire consequences. Did the accused repent for his wrongdoing that affair? Far from it. Instead, he used his freedom to perpetrate a most blood-curdling crime, namely that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. To explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution calls its first witnesses to the stand. Alright, he already took his cape off. The detective responsible for investigating the scene and the accused himself. Oh god, it's been a while since I did Fancy's voice, so kinda rusty. Witnesses, your names and occupations, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector of Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. The Soseki document for the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsume. Yes, my lord, sir. I'm quite sure I'm not mistaken that you swore an oath never to step foot in my courtroom again. I remember it as the very yesterday. The day before, in fact, my lord, but close enough. Believe me, this is the last place I want to be. Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case for the court. Right you are, sir. The incident occurred at the Gardep household where the defendant has lodgings. In the ground floor room of the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare. The defendant has already admitted to visiting the victim on the night in question. Mr. Shakespeare collapsed in his room as a result of poisoning by starch. He was found the following morning when the landlord, suspecting something was wrong, broke on the door. I had no idea what the word was. This means I presume that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident. Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making entry to or exit from the room impossible. Although the victim, Mr. Shakespeare, lives to tell, he very nearly did it. The man was halfway to heaven when we first found him. I was the first officer on the scene, my lord. And I have a photographic print here that I took at the time to show how it looked. What is that puddle on the ground over there? I didn't notice that. Yes, a chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased. That's right. Everyone present believed that's exactly what he was. Very well. Shall accept this photograph print as evidence for the court. Okay, let's look at the court record actually. Oh. Okay, I'm wondering... Yeah, I think I'll just look through the evidence. It's the teacup from which Mr. Natsuma is drinking. Yes, unlike the other one, the inside of the cup is completely clean. I suppose he must have drunk the contents before the tea had a chance to leave a mark. I always cup it down too. Sorry, Mr. Naruto? Well, if you just sip it little by little, it goes cold. Clearly, you have to instruct you the proper way to take tea. There's no tea ring. Oh, but there's a tea ring in this cup. It's stained on the inside. Tea does not, I'm afraid, even green tea. Oh, really? I never noticed before. You never noticed? Oh. Drink tea while it's hot. That's the Japanese way, isn't it? Oh dear, so many people seem to have the wrong idea about our culture, and most of them are Japanese. Alright, I think that's it for the teacups. What? What is this? Oh, what is Ms. Naruto? This bar of soap. When you first found it, I could have sworn there was some sort of round disc in this depression just here, a reddish one. Yes, you're right, I remember it too. But now the depression is completely empty. Where could the disc have gone? Huh. Where did it go? Boy, I have to be at a certain angle to look at it. Whoever opened this envelope didn't bother with a letter opener or scissors, did they? Huh. So was the red print from the envelope in the soap? Or was the soap trying to disguise itself as the letter? Yes, whoever opened it was clearly someone with an unrefined temperament. And judging from the angle the rep here, the person in question must have been right-handed. Mrs. Zato, I think perhaps someone's been reading too much of the old adventures Herlock Sholmes. You can never read too much of it, Mr. Naruto, never. Alright. Think that's it for the envelope. Okay. Yeah, I didn't notice this puddle over here. Ah, yeah, yes! As a defendant, do you have anything to say at this juncture? They're haunted. They're haunted by evil spirits. Good gracious, what's haunted? My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings to my lodgings! The tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances. A woman was stabbed by no one in the street outside. My neighbor was poisoned. But me! What about me? I've never been killed down countless times. Killed, Mr. Natsume? How? Even on the fateful night, it happened when I returned from Mr. Shanshi's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me! You must always extinguish all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume. But it's so cold! My runny nose would freeze! The point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Oh, why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? Thank you, witnesses. I believe I've reasonably clear a picture of events. If I could raise one more point, my lord. One more conclusive point. Conclusive? Go on. Fortunately, the victim, Mr. Shakespeare, has regained consciousness after his ordeal, and he has named the true culprit. The poison consumed by the victim was administered in a cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused. The accused? Good grief! Order! Order! Yes, that's the crux of this whole case. If Soseki-san is innocent, then why? Why has the victim accused him? Well, Mr. Natsume, if you say this accusation. That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shashi's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result. Never will I touch tea again. Never! The public pump was frozen, you say? That's not information heard before. But then why was there a puddle on the ground if the public pump was frozen? That will do, thank you. Now, according to our laws, the defense must have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses at least once. Therefore, I call upon these witnesses now for formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objection? None whatsoever, my lord. Good. Then you'll give an account of events on the night and the question to the court now. Yes, my lord! It was around 9 o'clock that evening I visited my neighbor and I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. Arg! My tea was completely harmless. He couldn't lock the door behind me otherwise, could he? Starch 9? Takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't kill over immediately after taking it. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door I've discussed it. The argument still stands. Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward. Excuse me, but that testimony does raise one other crucial point, I think. Mr. Nussman claims his tea to have been harmless. Presumably, though. The teacups have been examined for traces of poison, haven't they? Why didn't I think of that? Well, as it happens, no. We haven't been able to. Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect substance. How could you overlook something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should have done? My learned Japanese friend is falsely incensed. The inspector says Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea, not that it was overlooked. Unable? Why? It's simple enough. There was none left, not a drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. What if the tea was freaking dumped on the floor here? Here. Oh my god. Because the freaking water pump, the water pipeline is frozen, so there will be no water or anything, so that must have been the tea. With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. We all need a drop, but the one drop does actually have to exist, funny enough. The lack of examination notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than the tea passed the victim's lips on the night in question. What if the poison was in the soap? Cast their eyes over the jury, my learned friend. What? You can see in their eye faces, I'm sure, the recognition of the accused's guilt. Your client's fate is all but sealed. I can't help but be enamored by juror number 4's design. I'm just like, wow, her design though. In mere moments from now, you will lose, and your compatriot will be damned for all eternity. He's right. I can feel all 6 of the jurors looking daggers at me. But I can't let them beat me down. I won't. Counsel for the defense proceed with cross-examination. Yes, Lord. Hold it! Okay. I'll just like press all the evidence and read it over. We are friends? Not at all. Not at all! Never. Ever. A simple no would have sufficed. Then, why'd you decide to pay him a visit? Mr. Shazier finds himself as having great literary knowledge. As a fellow scholar of English literature, we find much to talk about together. Come now, no Nipponese can understand the finer points of English literature. And on the night in question, that was the topic of conversation as well, I presume. It was the day of my last trial when I was acquitted. I just arrived back at my lodgings, ran around to Mr. Shazier outside on the street. That was around 6 o'clock. It was changed to 1 or 2 pleasantries, but it soon turned into a heated discussion. He was on his way out at the time though, so I promised to visit his room that evening at 9 to continue our debate, but did I have ill intentions? No! Not 1, not 2, not any, not at all! Never, ever! A simple no would have sufficed, I feel. Then tell the court what did happen when he visited the victim's room. Okay... Hold it! Romeo and Juliet, who was stronger? It was a profoundly pleasurable parley. Romeo and Juliet? Who was stronger? I know I'm going to regret asking this, but how did the debate go? Well, we both agreed that we reached a conclusion more quickly with a reenactment, so we battled it out in a Greco-Roman style, naturally. What? Mr. Shasta had all sorts of costs in his room for just such a contest. So when you say a reenactment, you mean you're actually in costume? He as Romeo, I as Juliet, and after a vigorous wild tussle, I as Juliet came out on top. I picked her out, cherished forever! I dare not imagine the terrible scene of carnage, so you two wrestled together in a costume of Romeo and Juliet, and Juliet won. Okay, that was a mental image that I did not need in my mind right now. The fact remains that was you prepared the tea and took it to the victim, correct? I boiled the warm room, made a pot to take with me. I heard he was too poor to have tea himself, you see. It's true, there's no sign of any tea leaves in the man's room. I wanted to do something nice, to be friendly. So why is everyone looking at me with such suspicion? My tea was harmless, of course it was. And do you have any basis for this statement, witness?
Hold it!
Wait! But the freaking tea was on the floor at the crime scene. I wonder if I could present that as evidence. He, said it was the labs, I believe. The labs, Inspector? When tenants return to rooms and start using gas lamps and other parts of the house flicker. Yes, Mr. Carter seems to pay a lot of attention to comings and goings of his tenants. There's only one key to Mr. Shaster's room. I know that for certain, so he must have locked the door himself from inside his room. The victims confirmed that to be the case, yes. So I'm right! My tea was harmless! Completely harmless! If you take poison, you die! Everyone knows that! It's not that simple, I'm afraid. What do you mean?
Hold it!
Apparently, poison takes a while for the body to consume it. The victim suffers violent convulsions, cramping and stiffness, and eventually dies from asphyxiation. Whoops, sorry. There was a 30-minute interval. Just seems to be a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure. Oh dear, that's why poison again. It's always so awful. 30 minutes is a long time. Certainly long enough for the victim to lock the door behind the accused after he left. You can't deny that. And it further degrades Soseki-san's alibi. Add the medical report. Ooh, new evidence. Alright, this will be in the court record. Oh yes, I see here. Delayed onset of symptoms. Okay, I want to read this. William Shasur, 31, caused a coma, ingestion of a small quantity of strychnine. Toxic effects present 30 minutes after ingestion. High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no sample could be obtained for testing. What if the poison was the soap, not the tea? Investigative conclusions. The poisoning incident occurred at around 1:30 a.m. on 21st February. Assessed the victim's pocket watch that appears to have broken when the man collapsed after the delayed onset of symptoms. No container for the poison was found at the scene. Huh, 1:30 a.m. Okay. Great. Wait, but he went back to his room at 11, and the poison took effect at 1:30 a.m. And the poison takes 30 minutes to take hold, so the poison would have taken effect at 11:30 p.m., but that didn't happen. It happened at 1:30 a.m. Okay, maybe I could present evidence on statement 2. I think I'll just press this one and get more information. The pair then drank tea together, so just poison it. The victim wouldn't have been able to lock the door after the accused left earlier on. Exactly! Arg! Me and my team are innocent! Sweet and innocent, I tell you! I'm afraid, sir, that doesn't follow. You see, Sturge 9 is still acting poison. That came after the tea. Do you have any evidence to support that statement? In my great homeland, the Empire of Japan, we have a saying. Drink tea while it's hot. Sure, the proverb will satisfy the prosecution. No. Okay, I think I have an idea what to do. If I could voice a personal opinion, Mr. Naruhodo, of course, go ahead. Mr. Natsume's argument for instance so adamantly and so persistently, yet Inspector Gregson just brushes what he says aside. It's really quite infuriating. I agree. So we need to find inconsistency in what the Inspector is saying, I think. I'm afraid so. As things stand, the jurors are sure to find Mr. Natsume guilty. As I see it, what we need to focus on is the poison and the tea. Okay.
Objection!
Mr. Natsume, you say it was 11 p.m. when you left to return to your room, correct? Yes! And Inspector Gregson, can we rely on the information in the medical report unconditionally? Of course it can. There's no problem with the report, Sunshine. Actually, I think there's a very big problem. Because there's a chronological inconsistency between it and the defendant's testimony. A chrono what? What are you on about? According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning, and yet, the defendant Mr. Natsume left the victim's room at 11. Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. Duh. In other words, if there was poison in the tea that Mr. Natsume brought to the victim's room, how could the victim fall ill to it 2.5 full hours after the defendant left? Wow! What are your reactions to say? The defense's argument is entirely reasonable. How do you sound, Lord Francis? He's already got the wine ready. Pray, forget the discordancy in my mind has wandered. I was considering what cuisine would best complement the contents of my halo chalice this luncheon. How could this happen, you ask? I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. A phantom? Is it so hard to imagine that the victim drank his tea after the accused had left? For example, at the time stated in the medical report, yes, at around 1:30. Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor. And in Japan, there's well-known saying, drink tea while it's hot.
Objection!
And in my country, there's even a more apt saying, there is nothing more refreshing than cold tea. What? The point is, there was such a long gap. There may be other ways to explain how the victim came to be poisoned. Other possibilities. What sort of possibilities, Console? Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor, or maybe the poison was in soap. Another visitor. That's a very bold assertion, my learned friend, for someone who has nothing to substantiate it. Or the victim could have taken the poison of his own volition. You suggest this may have been suicide, Console?
Objection!
Mr. Shanster has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted. But he could be lying. Is something wrong, Lord Francis? I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray forget the discordancy. Carriage? What carriage? It would seem. that the key player in this case has just arrived. Out! Out! Brief candle lies but a walking shadow. Oh my god. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Who, sir, are you? William Shakespeare, my lord. Alas, 'twas I, undone by these bitter events, I, and the victim. What? What's he doing here? The prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. With his testimony, my learned friend's futile resistance will be utterly crushed. You're calling him as a witness? Very well, counsel, I grant your request with interest. I'm curious to see what the court shall hear from the victim himself. Happy am I, Shakespeare, to regale to you my tale of woe, my lord. But I still have my own tale to tell, my own tale worse woe. I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence in perfect English. That will do, Mr. Nussman. Let the court now hear from the victim. Alright. Alright, so that's Mr. Shakespeare. But who's that other man beside him? Yes, I feel sure that we caught a glimpse of that man before. State your names and occupations for the court, please, witnesses. A writer of words so sweet they do scent the breeze, an inventor of ideas so profound they compose the earth, the unrivaled poet, the unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare, were the great bard to be recalled to life anew. Lo, what a magnificent man! Good fellows, I am he who ponders such a miracle, William Shakespeare. Oh, the name's Meter Man. I draw B Meter Man. I work for the Ultimate Gas Company East End branch office. Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday in Briar Road. Oh yeah, she's right. It's him who just ran away after seeing us. Whoops. Yes, he spotted outside Mr. Gardner's house that morning, and he's a gas company employee? What does he have to do with this case? So, Mr. William Shakespeare, the victim is miserable affair, correct? Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember that sweet poison that did cross me and crossed mine innocent lips? I subpoenaed him for the trial, with his doctor's permission, naturally. Hearing the testimony of the agreed will remove any room for doubt from the jurors' minds, I'm sure. Behold, you have only to rearrange the letters of my name to see that's me's a syrup, an angel indeed. Thus be I noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart as all heavenly angels be. I have no idea what to say, because there isn't a less contrived meaning to your name. No, not at all. The jurors seem to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid. They're actually taking the syrup anagraph idea seriously? Thank you, witnesses, for illuminating introductions. But my lord, what's the man next to Mr. Shakespeare doing here? The gas man, I mean. What? Me? Oh, well now. Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. You recall, I presume, your earlier impertinence when he suggested that the victim had another visitor to his room at the night in question, and moreover that the victim is a compulsive liar. What? No, I didn't quite say that. This young chin-stroker here is to controvert your wild claims, conclusively. Is that not so, Mr. Meterman? Hang on. No, I'm just here. I hereby call for formal testimonies. You will tell the court as lucidly as possible what happened in night in question. One may smile and be a villain. Yes, it does pain me, but let the truth be spoken, the truth of that wintry night of my discontent. Alright, witness testimony. The snow laid about. My neighbor did come us in the evening bearing a gift of tea. But Mary, bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate on my table. 'Twas the tea alone did pass my tea that late hour, naught else. I was outside this box window, the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. No one else was in his room but the short little round-backed Eastern fellow. Why are you outside his window? Did you put the letter in the soap? Wait, what did you say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Chancellor's room all night? That's right. Of course, the blocks windows all but blocked up, isn't it? No, it was like freaking soap in it. But there's a little gap in the bricks where I could see into the room. So I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from shouting, so I peered in through that. The question is, sir, why? Well now, that's because it's on my list. What a piece of luck is a man, wherefore was still not stare in wonderment. What are you talking about? This buzzing busybody has not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed, make no more ado about his tedious words. I think he is part of the freaking crime scene. He was there right outside it. What'd you say about me? Calm yourself. This court is concerned what happened on the night in question. Nothing more. Indeed, that is so. And, as the testimony I have just heard clearly reveals, there was no one other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime. Well, I bet he's ready to do the final testimony in your trial. Now, counsel, the defense and proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Alright. I guess just press this guy.
Hold it!
I don't know what time the mustachioed Nipponese visit in her room. Armenia's promised for the hour at 9. Alone did he come to tender get the friggin' tea. Okay, 9 p.m. I, Shakespeare, did play the part of Romeo, whilst my neighbor played the fair Juliet. Each of us dressed as would our characters be to bring weight upon a merry experiment. I dare not imagine the scene. Frailty! Thy name is woman. Canst still imagine how dismayed I was? Yes, I'd heard of the Eastern art of Jiu-Jitsu, but neither did I dream to be a skill practiced by the comely maiden. Julia beat Romeo up? This is not helping our case. I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you could reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room. I would rather not think about Suseki-san dressing up as Juliet beating up Romeo. My liege, I am thy servant, Gladio do thy bidding.
Hold it!
But it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. If the defendant really put the poison in your tea, that 3-hour window of time is something you're going to have to explain. Gladly, 'tis an easy task. What? I did drink of the tea, not while my guest is Terry, but after he took leave of me. Why are you dancing like that? God, this witness is like on the top 3 weird witnesses I've seen. Face to stone cold, but at 1 hour post midnight, barely were my lips parched. That doesn't sound normal. Nay, 'tis quite ordinary, sire, after all. Though whisker call a fiery debate, amidst such argument there be no time for fiery tea. Romeo and Juliet again. Who was stronger? Mr. Chancery, in summary, allow me to confirm. Did you not come here with the intention of naming your attacker? But of course, my liege. 'Twas the stoop to love her words that attempt to shuffle me off this mortal coil. We all know what that means. God, this guy is so freaking weird. Ha! Fine luxury, fine gluttony, to eat thrice daily is but a waste of time. Sorry? I would that my belly were full, no more often the sun does rise. Well, most heroic eating habits, I must say. Night and day do I fill my hours with learn study of the great bard and playwright. Why am I jumping around? Hence is that the dust, not in my chamber be that the causes of mine art. That would appear to be a case, as even a rodent was found starved to death in your room. Now I think it's not just food that's conspicuously missing from our room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single player script anywhere. For I have devoured them all. You've eaten them? Every word be within my skull. Just don't imagine otherwise. Right, that was misleading all. Now could you turn around, do you think? Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison can pass the victim's lips is in the tea. What if it was in the soap?
Hold it!
The defunct window tax. Yeah, you're right, they're all bricked up horribly. But as it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork at the bottom corner that's been opened up. I was looking in through that gap. Yes, there are a few bricks loose, wasn't there? Or for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap lined up on the ledge outside as well. I don't like going around poking my chin in other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights. But done's my orders, so that's what I'll keep doing, well, as long as there's breath in my body. What's with all the theatricals today? Out enters Mr. Meter Man. After the accused left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all? No, he never left. He was in the room the whole time as far as I'm concerned. And we can therefore discount the possibility of suicide. How can you be so sure of that? The police carried out a thorough investigation of the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. And since we know the victim did leave his room and has since disposed of the poison's container himself, I think it was in the freaking soap, because the red seal was gone for the soap. It's clear that this was no attempted suicide, only the culprit could have removed the receptacle. Ah, yes. Well, lucidly explained, Castle, thank you. It really was, you can't argue with the logic.
Hold it! Objection!
How many other short little round back nipponis with a mustache do you think there are in London? Well, of course, the Sony's narrow gap is quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache, but he showed up around 9, so I'm pretty sure of myself. And when the person you saw arrived, did he and Mr. Shanster drink tea together? Nah, sorry, couldn't say. Why not? Because I couldn't see in the room all that well, could I? What I did see was still that little round-back fellow were wearing a pretty dress. Did the pair of them start some kind of wrestling match? I tell you, I didn't know what to make of it. I suppose that was the Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway. Mr. Meterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you say with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question? No question. Just his honor. My lord! Goodness me, Mr. Yes, Mr. Foreman. I kept my mouth shut listening up to now, but this has gone long enough. Are you all with me? Yes! Are we to understand that you ladies and gentlemen of the jury are in agreement with one another? That you reach an unanimous decision? Too right we have. Are you all with me? Yes! Wait, no, the defense is in the middle of a cross-examination. To be honest, let's hold out a bit of hope for a young man, especially after you identified those few hours that followed the accused leaving the victim's room. Yes, 3 missing hours as you put it. But in the end, what difference did it make? None as far as I can see. And since there's no apparent, there's really no reason to delay our decision any longer. Like I was saying before, if I don't think if I Bob homie tonight, Mrs. Board Top. Huh? What is that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. Very well, let the court be apprised of your decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, jury, state your ladies' defendant's culpability.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Oh boy, is it time for the banger theme? The summation examination? So, this time at least, it seems justice will be done. All is well that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I feel. To the guilty being punished. Wow! Get up, Mrs. Naruhodo, please. The trial isn't over yet. But what do you mean, Mrs. Otto? What about the version of this Encyclopedia of British Law I have? Yeah, the summation examination can be done. A summation examination. Yes, that's right. We don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. But here in a British court of law, if we can reverse the decisions of a majority of the jurors, we can force the trial to continue. This trial can't end now. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. The defense moves to invoke its right to summation examination, my lord. Why am I not surprised? Am I learning Japanese friend's inability to admit defeat? You choose to cling desperately to some archaic rule we barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth. Certainly, no other defense cause in recent times is necessary to right to a summation examination. Because they all know that once the jury's mind is set, it cannot be altered. Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld. The defense counsel's request is granted. This court will proceed with the summation examination as outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law. Thank you, my lord. Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord, we know all about this young man's tenacity, and we're ready for it. Very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen, the jury hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime for which he stands accused. Yeah, time to listen to the banger theme. Half of these freaking statements are very biased. I knew it. Every single one of them seems completely convinced, and some of them just want to go home or they're just confused. It was seen that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shasta is fine, upsetting, and honest citizen. I don't think so. He seems very fishy to me. If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements. And sadly, nothing Mr. Nosman said appears to have registered at all. Well, here goes. Here goes. Let's not forget. I pleaded with the jury on Soseki-san's behalf before it worked, so you never know. Before we begin, might be an idea for you to remind how exact the summation. Oh, you don't have to remind me. Like, I already know how to do the summation examination. No need. I know how to do it. Thank you for the kind offer, Mrs. Otto. But I've been through plenty of these summation examinations already now. I think it's important that we don't delay the start any longer than necessary. Of course, I understand. I'm quite sure you're right. If you're confused by anything at any point, you can turn to me for advice whenever you like. Thank you, Susato. I'll be here for you. The key to this is really listening carefully to each other's statement and then pitting them against each other. Yup. Okay, well, the two statements don't necessarily have to be contradictory. They could be complementary to each other. So, yeah. I'll just try to do that for this.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
Alright. I was just listening to the theme while reading it here. So, from what I can see, after reading the statements from juror number 1 and juror number 2, well, juror number 2 didn't really help that much. She's just very biased against Soseki-san already. So I just gotta prove that the Chancellor guy is, like, not a good person that they should actually believe in, that he's an unreliable witness. It really is the most tiresome problem for the company, most irritating. We can be absolutely certain that this customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence, we can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued. What? I'm sorry, you lost me a little there. Who are you? I'm the wife of Augustus Ultimate, owner of the Ultimate Gas Company. Oh, so you're the wife of the guy? Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure an employee for the East End branch office would be first to agree. Absolutely, Lady Quimby. Gotta be his corporate. Ultimate Gas is best in the world, of course. I think we may have slept to Mr. Bow from earlier, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, he bowed in deference to his employer's wife, did he? So would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Chancellor is up to in his room? I'm afraid that there's no end to the lengths the population of Easton will go in order to steal our gas, so I really had no choice when the company identified somebody as possible fraudsman. But to dispatch a worker to watch a suspect day and night, we're very thorough in our investigations. So you mean Mr. Chancellor is... I wouldn't come out and say in public, but you can finish that sentence with a grubby little gas thief. Oh god, that umbrella just looks like a bee, and I can't help but laugh a little at it. You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you? The eye of a man has not heard, the ear of man has not seen. Faced with those who wound me without words, were I to let them penetrate the skin. But serapes here and out insults, only chorus of changes in song. I have thick skin, what of it? We may not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around you until they find it. Oh my god, did they put her design around a queen bee? And when I do, you find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in ultimate gas explosion. So Mr. Chancellor is stealing gas. I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your statement? My pleasure. Was it the bit about ripping that thief apart you enjoyed? A little before the part about object files is not too much trouble. Yes, of course. This could be it. This could shift the balance. Alright, I think I'll press juror number 5 and 6, and then I'll pit juror number 1 and 4 later. I want to get all the necessary information first. Finish last, this was about... What's that? I talked about the Derby at Hyde Park, aren't I? It was the Queen's Cup last week, wasn't it? Derby? It was a dead cert, that's the thing. I couldn't lose, so I took my wife's secret savings, like, no! But then the hopeless old Mar went and did the unthinkable. The stupid finish last. Oh dear, I think it's clear what happened, isn't it? Don't spend your wife's savings on the freaking gambling. Jeez. Let this business line out, just give it up. No, that's not gonna happen. Oh my god.
Hold it!
Well, I'm not one to boast to get up at 5 every morning, I do. At 5? You're a really early riser then, aren't you? Huh? What's that now? I said you're an early riser. Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I like to while away the hours in the evening reading books as well. But by about 2 in the morning, I'm usually too tired to go on. He sleeps at 2 in the morning and gets up at 5? Oh my, that means he only has 3 hours of sleep each night. What's that there? Only 3 hours of sleep each night! That's right, you see, 3 hours of missing time like I said is not much, is it? This really isn't helping. Okay, I'm gonna pit juror number 1 with juror number 4. Alright.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious, to whose statements do you refer, counsel? Juror number 1. What are you yelling about, lad? I presume you heard juror number 4's statement made by the wife of the owner of Ultimate Gas. Well, yes. The victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact, turns out to be a common thief. So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I, her both don't say as much. It's true, we don't have evidence as such just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know. What? You heard me, seeing as his operations has already been compromised. I was suggesting the court hears testimony from our East End branch office employees over there. I'll do whatever you say, my lady. Glass in his honor. Oh my god, like even his bag like looks like the freaking bee. Juror number 1, you say you're a man of your word. If I could show that Mr. Chancellor is a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt. Huh, yes, I did say that. And as a matter of my honor, I'll do it. As I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will. Me? Oh wait, yes, now that we found a man's liar, perhaps we have to consider the matter further. Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you all been saying. So this means you recap a few points, so sue me to the ground. Oh no, I'm not having a part. This is what this trial over and done with. In that case, I should change my leaning. So, Mr. William Shakespeare, that's your real name. We at the jury demand to know exactly what kind of man you really are. That's 4 jurors, 4 for not guilty. Yes, Miss Naruto. Victory! Order! Order! Wow, this is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense's summation examination, the jury's leaning has changed. Now only 2 jurors say guilty, whilst 4 not say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord and order the trial to continue. You have spoiled the bouquet, Mr. Shakespeare. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find they are unable to trust you, the victim. Oh, but you gods will give us some fuss to make us men. So God mend me, I do swear. This gas and speaketh that which concerns the most, not but gas, not but thin air. It burneth bright a while, but it has no substance, and it does reek foul. Oi, what'd you say? Do I take it, Mr. Shancer, to deny the allegations of gas thievery? Most heartily, my lord, hast thou forgot I am as a syrup, an angel? I don't think you are. Noble, sweet, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart. Ah, you flowery-mouthed pompous beanpole, just because I haven't got the evidence yet. Mr. Shakespeare, if in fact you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom. It is my considered opinion that at the present time no other possible culprit in this case, crime has been identified. All testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicates the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case. Oh no. However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further.
Objection!
I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case are unrelated. Juror number 4. Yes? Didn't you say before that although he had no hard evidence to prove that this man is stealing gas, he has strong grounds for suspecting him? That's right, we do, don't we, Marker? Absolutely, Lady Quimby. Gas is honor. Very well then, we'll hear her testimony now. You'll tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, is stealing gas. Yes, Lord, it'll be my pleasure. If I may, my lord. Go ahead, madame. This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind. Wahoo! Oh yeah, sweetest honey. Yeah. Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request. Thank you, my lord. You wait until the boss gets an earful. Oh, it's gonna sting you, mark my words. Oh boy, he's blindly devoted. So you both testify before the court on the subject of the legal concession of the Ultimate Gas Company's fuel. Yes, is that clear, my good man? Clear as Ultimate Gas, my lady. Alright. I'm actually kind of getting tired of seeing this battle like every so often. Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Mrs. Otto? I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruto. Blind devotion does that to you. Alright guys, I think that'll be it for part 5 of The Great Ace Attorney 2. Next time we'll just listen to the witness testimony from these two bees. Alright, bye! See you guys next time.